So Gemini 3 has just dropped and it is really crazy. But like always, everyone is obsessing over the benchmarks. I am not going to talk about the benchmarks today because, let's be honest, they're super boring, they can be easily manipulated, and it doesn't actually show you how clever the model is. To actually see how clever the model is, you need to use it. You need to build things with it. You need to push it to its limits. So in this video, I'm going to build some crazy shit with Gemini 3. Let's get started. Okay, so here we are in Gemini, not AI Studio, but just within Gemini. And you know that multi-billion-dollar bit of software called Photoshop? Yeah, let's recreate that with one prompt, should we? So I'm going to paste in that prompt here. I'm going to select Canvas, and I'm going to make sure we're on Thinking so that we can use Gemini 3 Pro. And with this one prompt here, I'm going to click Submit, and Gemini is going to do its thing. I'm going to give it maybe about 30 seconds or so, and let's see what it can create us. So here we go. You can see it's thinking about it and it's going through all of these steps and all the features it's going to include. And now it's writing all of the code. Okay, so here we are. We have got our Photoshop clone and I can go over, select brush, do a little wiggly line. There we go. Let's change the color to a red. And we've got another wiggly line. Let's make the brush a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's go over and create a new layer. There we go. Create new layer. And let's change the color. And let's perhaps make it like a blue. And there we go, we've got that on that layer. And in fact, let's delete this layer. There you go, that layer's been deleted. Now you can see it doesn't have all of the features of Photoshop, but we did create this just from one single sentence, basically, one prompt. And we've got the basic functionality here. We can, obviously draw, we can import images, we can export what we've created as a PNG, we can deal with layers, we can make adjustments. And if you want more functionality, obviously, you just prompt it to create whatever it is you want to create. Now, the fact that it's been able to create this absolutely from scratch, for me, is just mind-blowing. And within like a minute or so, it's phenomenal. And actually quite scary in terms of what's coming next in the world of AI. But let's not think about that for now. Let's have a look at another demo. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to select Canvas again, make sure we've got Thinking. And I've got a selection of these demos over here. And this one, which I created earlier, and the prompt for it earlier, is going to be a Lego block builder. So if we go back over to Gemini and I paste this prompt in here and send it off, what it's going to do is create a Lego model builder where I can choose different Lego blocks of different sizes and I can place them in the work area. The blocks are going to snap to the grid. It should be a nice interface and I should be able to change the color of the blocks. Now, to make this all nice and simple, I am asking it to put this within a single HTML file. And here you can see it is starting to write out all of the code that we need for our Lego model builder. Okay, and here you can see we have got our brick builder and I can place a brick. Let me change the color. I'm going to place another one next to it. I can spin it around. Oh, looks like I accidentally placed one. Let's see if I can delete this. Look how good this is just from, again, one simple line of code. Let's place another one like, oh, wrong place. Oh, well. Let's see if I can place it on top. Yep, there we go. Now, what's really impressive here is not my Lego model building abilities, obviously, but the fact that it created this from one shot, from one prompt. It did all the research over what Lego is and what Lego blocks should look like. Maybe they got like the dimensions a tiny bit off, but I mean, from one shot created within 5 minutes, this is super impressive. And obviously, if I wanted to make changes, I just prompt it and it makes some changes. Okay, so let's move on from the brick builder. Let's go to the next one. And if you're wondering what this is a cheat sheet that I've posted within my Applied AI Mastermind community. So I'm going to go on to the next one. And the next one we're going to create is a digital audio workspace. So a space where we can create some sick beats. So let me come back over here, paste this in, select Canvas, and make sure we've got Thinking, and let's go. So we're going to create a DAW, which is a digital audio workstation, that allows users to select between 3 different waveforms: sine wave, saw, or square. And that will be the lead instrument. And then we should be able to change some things such as the attack, the decay, the sustain, and the release. And you can see it's starting to build. And we've included a few other things like including piano roll interface and putting everything within an HTML file again. So let's give it a minute or so and let's see what it can create for us. Okay, so here we have it. We have our synth grid. And you can see we can select between sine, square, and saw. And if we click play, what a sick beat we have created there. But as you can see, we can go in and we can click different places, and we can add in different notes, and we can make it sound a little bit different. So let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, crazy. Now let's change the oscillation, which I guess is kind of like the instrument, to, instead of a saw wave, to a square wave. So let's click on that. Yeah, great. Okay, let's remove some of these because they don't sound that great. And I'm going to add in a few more notes. Again, I don't really know what I'm doing here, but let's just put these in here. And let's change some of these. So the sustain, and you can see down here in like the visualizer, someone who knows what they're doing will be able to tell you exactly what's happening here. I imagine, yeah, that's going to like prolong it. And the release, okay, there we go. And you can see we can change the master gain down here. Let's click play. Okay, that does not sound so great. There's a reason that I do not create music for a living. Let's change it back. Yeah, okay. The music doesn't sound great, but look over that and look at the fact that it created this bit of software here. We can create your own music, and obviously you'll be able to add in different instruments rather than just like in whatever this is. And you can completely create your own bit of software, which previously a bit of software like this, obviously a bit more advanced, would be very expensive to buy. But you can just build your own now. Not that you would, but the interesting thing here to show you is that we can build relatively complex software now very easily from one single basic prompt. Okay, so if you're still not impressed, let's have a look at our next one. So our next one is going to be foxes and rabbits. So this is going to be a simulation of an environment. So let's create a new chat. Let's make sure we got canvas. We're on thinking. Let's paste it in. And there we go. So whilst it's generating the code, let's have a look at what we asked it to do. Okay, so it's actually already generated before I could get a chance to go through what the prompt was. But essentially, we are saying create an ecosystem with foxes and rabbits and show interactions based upon birth, death, and hunting rates dynamics. Include sliders so we can adjust things. Also include a graph to show the populations and ensure the visualization is accurate and put everything in a standalone HTML file. And you can see this is what we get here. We can see a visualization of our foxes and our rabbits. Now, it looks like at the moment, the rabbits have won. So let's reset this. And we can see all the foxes, but let's turn down the birth probability of the rabbits. And you can see the population is decreasing. There are fewer rabbits. And within no time at all of the foxes have died. Okay, so if we turn down the hunger on the rabbits, okay, we're going to have to reset it actually. But let's reset it. Let's see if we can find an equilibrium point. Decrease the metabolism of the foxes, I think. And now we should see, yeah, there are loads of foxes, and I think quite soon, oh no, it's about even. Oh yeah, now the foxes are really taking over, but they've dipped down because the number of rabbits dipped down, and now there's just a couple of rabbits left. There you go, interesting stuff. And you can see it's not just modeling the mathematics behind it, but it's actually showing the collisions of all of these rabbits and all these foxes, and showing all of the particles colliding in real time, and showing how this actually works, rather than just, oh, the maths is going to go like this. We can see the representation of it, and the maths is based upon what's actually happening, like a real simulation, rather than just modeling the maths. Okay, so to stick on this kind of like mathsy point, let's look at something which traditionally has been really tough, and it is really computationally heavy, and that is ray tracing. So let me go and grab this prompt here, which is our ray tracing demo. I'm going to copy this and come back over to Gemini, paste it in, and go canvas. And what we're saying here is develop a real-time ray tracing simulation featuring not one, but two metallic spheres suspended above a street scene using any publicly available 3D street view environment, and allow adjustable parameters, etc. Make it a single HTML file. So let's send this off. What ray tracing is essentially allows you to get photorealistic physics in terms of visual physics and reflections from the math side of it. So essentially, we're building like a game engine or a 3D animation engine, which is not a simple feat. Now, if you're watching this, you already know how fast AI is moving. Blink for a week, and suddenly everyone seems to be 2 steps ahead. And honestly, the only reliable way to get up to speed and to stay up to speed with AI is to have one place that keeps you plugged into everything that matters to do with AI. Whether you run a business, whether you help other businesses implement AI, or whether you just want to keep your skills razor sharp. This is exactly why I've built the Applied AI Mastermind. It's a single community where you can learn everything you need to about AI, from the foundations of LLMs to how to build AI agents in NX10 to how to actually apply AI to a business to make the business more profitable. Everything in here is based upon real-world application, and inside there's over 15 hours worth of in-depth video lectures across a whole wide range of topics. There's over 2,000 AI templates which are ready to go right now. There's a directory of the top AI tools. There's daily updates and trainings on the latest AI info. Plus, there's access to me and the rest of the community for any technical support or any other questions that you may have. And right now, it is the cheapest it will ever be. So if you're serious about getting ahead and staying ahead with AI, come and join us. I'll leave a link in the description. Anyway, back to it. Okay, so this is what has been created, and you can see, well, it's pretty dark, but look at that. We've got the cars going down below, and let's see if we can increase the brightness a little bit. Okay, you can see there are a few rough edges, such as where I'm trying to move the slider, it's also moving the viewport. But there you can see, as we move how much light there is, you can see the reflections on these two metallic balls change, and it reflects these cars in real time, which, if anyone has ever done any work within a game engine, you'll realize how much work this actually is. So let's see if we can increase the sphere height. So there we go. We can raise it up, and you can see all the reflections are mapped perfectly. Let's make them separated a little bit from each other. Let's turn down the speed of these traffic. Yeah, these aren't the best cars I've ever seen, but then again, I don't really give it a lot of prompting. I'm sure we could fix that. But there we go. Look at the reflections you can see within those beautiful balls. So there we go. Pretty impressive stuff from a physics side of things as well. Okay, so that is the ray tracing demo. Let's have a look at the next one. So the next thing we're going to go over is a drag and drop email builder. So if you have a business, you probably have an email list, and you probably use tools like MailerLite or Kit or Klaviyo to build emails that you can send to your email list. So let's copy this 2-sentence prompt here. Let's go back over to Gemini. Let's create a new chat, and let's drop this in here. Select Canvas, make sure we're on thinking, and off we go. So we're saying, develop a drag and drop email builder like MailerLite or Kit. Include snap to grid and alignment guides and advanced settings. Build it all within one HTML file. And here you can see, off it goes, creating all the code. Okay, so here we have it. Let's see what we can do with it. So first of all, I'm going to put a bit of text up here. Yep, there we go. I can drag and drop it on. Let's center align it. And I'm going to change it and say, welcome to my newsletter. And then we're going to have an image down here. And yeah, it looks like we have to have an image URL, which is fine. I'm not going to go and do that now, but you can see that we'll probably drop in an image there. We can add a divider. We can add in like a bit of paragraph text, and here we can change this. We can change the background color, it looks like. Yep, there we go. Lovely. We can add in a little spacer, and we can add in some more text, and maybe we want a button under that text. A button. Let's put a button in. There we go. Click me, and we can change the text, and we can change the URL. I mean, this is very close to what MailerLite is. That's what I personally use. And yeah, obviously we need to tighten a few things up. But we created this with 2 sentences, which to me is just wild. And again, not only the technical ability of it, but for me to be able to say, build it something like this or like that, and it will go off, do the research, and this actually looks surprisingly like MailerLite. So it's done a lot of research, in-depth research, and it's created something genuinely like MailerLite. This is something that would take hundreds and hundreds of hours if you were to build this a couple of years ago before AI was really around and could build things like this. The ability for us to build things like this within seconds with having no technical experience whatsoever, simply prompting it and say, create something like this, is just absolutely extraordinary. If you can't tell already, I am very impressed with Gemini 3. So I'm going to go back over to my post within my mastermind, and we're going to look at this one here. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to ask it to create a 3D sort of like animation, or not an animation, but a 3D workspace where we can view an object. So if I go new chat, I'm going to paste that in here, and I'm going to say, build a beautiful scene for me using 3.js that is a replication of this object. I should be able to drag the scene and rotate the object that is in my image. Let's correct that spelling mistake. Make sure that the object created properly represents, looks like I misspelled that too, properly represents it and is a 3D version of the image given. Put it in a single HTML file. So to create that image, of course, I used AI over here in AI Studio, and I played around with the Eiffel Tower, but since I'm British, let's go for Big Ben. Well, actually, it's not called Big Ben, it's called the Elizabeth Tower, but there we go. Let's go over here, let's drag that in, and let's make sure we've got canvas selected, and we'll send that off. Now, if it's able to do this, this is super impressive because we are asking it to create a proper 3D model just from a reference photo. And actually the photo we've created with AI anyway. So we fully turned it from something within our heads to a 3D model, which you could then use for CAD. You could go off to actually manufacture an object. You could use it in animations. You could use it for a whole range of things. But if it's able to do this, then this is really quite impressive. So you can see it's coding away. It says it's going to use basic geometric primitives such as boxes, cylinders, and cones. But oh man, look at that. Okay, we got something a little bit funky going on with the face of the clock. But I mean, that's Big Ben, isn't it? You can see if I zoom out, okay, it looks like it gets lost in the fog a little bit. You can see we've got reflections on the ground, which is kind of cool. And you can see we've got a shadow as well. And we can zoom in, we can have a look at it. You can see it's trying to get textures. It's got different colors for the different parts of it. So while this may not look like a spitting replica of it, you can see this is really impressive. You've got all the shapes there. You can see it's got like this texture on the ball at the top. You can see you've got the spire. I mean, as someone who used to make 3D objects and spent a lot of time within software like Blender, this is super impressive. It's probably not quite there yet, but I mean, give this like 2 or 3 months, and it's going to be crazy the 3D objects you'll be able to create just from a single source image. I mean, this is wild. Okay, so let's really try and push the boat out. Let's try and rebuild Mac. So let's go back over to our new chat, and let's come down here, and I am going to grab this. And this prompt here is going to give us, hopefully, a fully working version of Mac, as in like an Apple MacBook Pro. Make a functional interactive clone of the Mac OS desktop interface, including working icons for Finder, text edit, and Safari, and a Mac OS-like image. The simulation must allow users to drag and drop simulated files across. Oh, let's go up here. The Safari web browser should work like a real browser and put everything in a standalone HTML file. Okay, so it's working away. I imagine this is going to take a little bit more time because we are creating an entire operating system, the very thing that made Bill Gates and Steve Jobs billionaires. And it's doing it for free within, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes. But let's see if it's able to do this or not, because this really is like pushing the limits of what it might be able to do. Okay, so this is our Mac OS, and as you can see, the top looks like a Mac. You know, we've got Finder, we've got our date, we've got our time, which is correct. The Finder icon is not correct. We've got a smiley face, but I mean, that's a small thing. But we can click it, and we've got our Finder window, which we can drag around. We've even got this smooth animation, which is really cool. We've got our photo dot. Let's close this. Yep, we can close Finder. Can we move these? No, we can't move those around a desktop. Okay, so it's a little bit limited there. But can we click on these? Okay, we can't click on these. And we can't drag these around. If I open that, nope. Okay, we can't. Let's open up text edit and say, hello there. This is pretty nuts. And let's see if we can make this bold. Okay, we can't make that bold. Okay, we can see it is struggling somewhat, but considering we gave it like 2 sentences, I think this is pretty wild that we've created software within software, which is within software. It's softwareception over here. Let's open up Safari, and you can see like the windows maintain, and the windows can go under each other and click on top. I mean, that's really impressive. Here's our web browser. You can see it is loading an actual web page. Let's click around on Wikipedia and go California. And let's see if we can load that web page. Yep, there we go. We can load web pages within our Safari browser and click around, and we can see this page. Let's see if we can resize it. No, I don't think we can. Oh, we can go full screen. I mean, that's pretty cool. Let's go death. It's a pretty dark one. There we go, funeral. But there we go. Pretty wild stuff. We're able to create an entire operating system. Yeah, maybe it's not working fully, but if we worked a little bit on this and just gave it a few more prompts, I think we'd be able to create something crazy. I'm not sure why you would want to create an operating system, but that's not the point here. The point is the intelligence of Gemini is pretty crazy. At least that's my opinion. I'd be interested to see what you guys think about this too. Let's finish off with one last thing. And of course, we're going to try and rebuild Minecraft. So let's create a new project within Gemini. Select Canvas. I'm going to come back over to the Applied AI Mastermind and come down and grab this last prompt here. And I'm going to come over to Gemini, paste it in. Let's send it off. So I'm saying create a replica of the game Minecraft. So again, we're asking it to go away and do research. The player should control a player in the 3D world that is made up of blocks of different types. The player should be able to place a block and destroy blocks. There should be basic physics. Make this in a single HTML file. Okay, so here is our Minecraft replica. Let's click, and I mean, here we are. We are kind of, oh, I'm stuck in some blocks. Kind of in Minecraft. I'm kind of zooming around a little bit. The controls work. I'm jumping. It looks like I'm okay. I've just fallen off the world, and I've landed back here if I've jumped off the side of the world. So it's got some like physics or something. You can see something went wrong. So if I click on Show Console, not sure what has gone wrong there, but let's fix this error and see what happens. So it's going over and it's looking through all of this information here to try and find what the issue is. Okay, so it's apparently fixed those issues. Let's click to play, and it looks like we're still hopping around in the same place, zooming around. I can't actually break these blocks. If I go on number 2, I can select a new block, or 3, I can select some blocks down at the bottom, but actually placing blocks is not working. Okay, so it looks like if I want to build Minecraft, the full game, which is a multi-billion-dollar game, maybe I have to give it more than one simple prompt in order to create it. Who would have thought? But still, this is very impressive. It hasn't fully done it. You can see we're reaching the limitations. But I think if you really wanted to build Minecraft, you absolutely could if you spent a little bit of time tweaking with it. And you can see it created everything from scratch. Created everything from like the textures of the leaves, the texture of the wood, to the grass, and it knows that the grass is like the grassy on top and then the earth below. Yeah, it's just very impressive. So there you go. That has been an overview of Gemini 3. Hopefully you can see from these demos, it is very, very impressive. It is definitely one of the leading models when it comes to physics, when it comes to building with actual context, and when it comes to programming as well, besides various other things, which I'm going to dive into more within my community. So if you're interested in staying up to date with things, then come over there. I'll leave a link down in the description, as well as some other AI goodies down below. That's it from this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Adios.